said, honey, do you think I'm smart? I said, of course you are. Ain't you lying here in my arms? She smiled. Well, does this shirt make me look fat? I kinda leaned back and laughed. And I said, honey, what kind of question is that? You're crazy. There ain't a girl in this whole wide world that could ever make me feel the way I do about you, baby. Yeah, you're crazy, but you can be as crazy as you wanna be, as long as you're crazy over me. Well, you can fuss about your hair, say you ain't got no clothes to wear. When you finally make up your mind, you go and change one more time. We can go out on Friday nights. A pretty girl could walk on by. If you really think I'd check her out, come on now. You're crazy. There ain't a girl in this whole wide world that could ever make me feel the way I do about you, baby. Yeah, you're crazy, but you can be as crazy as you wanna be, as long as you're crazy over me and all my stubborn ways, putting up with the messes I made. I even ruined our first date. Well, girl, for goodness sakes, you gotta be crazy to ever let a boy like me call you baby. I thank God every day that you're my lady. Now that's a little crazy, so go on and be as crazy as you wanna be.
45 seconds.
Over me. Crazy over me.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. I am very sorry. I guess tardiness. I guess for slacking. I was probably slacking. We've actually got very busy over the past couple months now, and what's happening and what we got going on. Wrong scene. What we got going on is, as you kind of can see from my last few test streams, as I was set up over there, now I'm actually set up on the opposite side of the room. Managed to rearrange everything and make things a little more functional, as things was a little crazy, wasn't comfortable streaming for a while. Still got the flight sim up here, it's over here off the corner of the screen, but not going to really go into details. Once again, welcome back to the 495 Response stream network. And I can't complain, and I can't be any more happy to be back. Right now, I just slapped everything together, got everything all up and ready for us. And so, with my further introduction, and I would like to go ahead and introduce my friend right over here. His name is Ike Nelson. I guess why don't we why don't you actually like introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hey, like he said, my name's Ike Nelson. I've been friends with him for a while. We do cap and stuff together, and we're just giving a see what's gonna happen on tonight with the stream.
You said cap. What is cap?
Civil Air Patrol.
Would you like to go a little bit further into what the Civil Air Patrol does? Without going into too much detail, so let's keep a little brief and tell a little about the viewers what the Civil Air Patrol does.
Basically, Civil Air Patrol we're like an auxiliary of the Air Force. We do have certain missions that we do get called out for, and we basically work with a lot of cadets, and our cadet population at the airport is getting a lot better than what we had. That's all I have to say.
What squadron? What airport are you actually at?
Squadron 10 at Long Island MacArthur Airport, also known as Long Island Group.
Okay. I think I might be having a little bit of feedback with the mics, but I think I'm just going to wind up sticking to the new mic. Yes, guys, I actually have, and I'm going to turn this around a little bit for the camera. I actually went around and I picked up the Elgato Wave 3 mic, and honestly, I cannot complain at all. I don't know. You know what? It's actually a good question. I know we're actually live on Discord as well, but I don't think anybody can hear me on the Discord. I probably don't have it actually set. What I probably should... Ooh, excuse me. What I should actually probably do is actually have that set to Discord, so everybody on Discord at least can hear. So if anybody is actually on the Discord that's actually watching, jump in to the live channel. If you can't, shoot us a message on Twitch. We are actually watching the Twitch chat, as that's all what we can do right now at the moment. Unfortunately, I am very, very sorry that that's what we can do at the moment. I don't have the rest of the setup to be able to monitor the YouTube and the Facebook chat and monitor those feeds, but yes, we will always be multi-streaming here. That's always my goal. That will be always my goal, and we are going to actually be multi-streaming on all the social media platforms, as Twitch is the primary. If you're not on Discord, or if you're watching from the other platforms, shoot us a message in the chat. We will actually go back and look at all the chats and that, and we will respond to everybody accordingly in the best way as possible, and we will get you guys the links that you guys are looking for. Before we actually start, as you guys can see, I am actually wearing a new shirt. Don't have a lot of merch out yet, but I am probably debating on actually going to be selling these shirts. Don't know exactly how, but so far right now we actually have this on the front. We got some more information on the back. Maybe towards the end of the stream I'll actually show what it looks like, if we can actually get it on the stream. If not, I can at least demo or take a picture of the shirt and put it out on Discord, and that's why I'll at least be posting it in the merch section. That channel's not up in live yet, so I guess let's dive right into the this stream a bit. So as I can kind of see, we are not actually testing. We're actually doing a short little podcast today. Well, actually tonight, a little late. We started, what did we start? About like 3 hours late?
Yeah.
We started about like 3 hours late in the stream, and we had to set everything up, run all the updates, get everything all up to date since the PC's been down for a couple months. So this podcast is actually going to be private pilot FAA test questions, which I have a short mini 24 test questions that I have. Might be a little out of date, just for a little disclaimer, they might be a little bit out of date. Once I work out the rest of the bugs and get everything back up running with this PC again, I will actually pulling the test quiz and the updated test questions from one of the software that I use that actually gets updated on a periodic basis.
Oh, and we have somebody else coming in.
I know you also mentioned that you are in the Civil Air Patrol. Reason why I kind of started this, doing this live stream with you, is because you also mentioned that you wanted to get your PPL license. So, what's one of the few things and reasons, personally, and what you can also inspire the viewers that are actually watching?
I just think if I get the PPL, it's another thing under my belt that I've been trying to do for a couple of years now, and I just finally was able to get in contact with my friend here to set this up. So, and I've also been talking to one of the pilots over at CAP, and he said to start working on it. So I contacted my friend here and see what happens. Hopefully all goes well.
So, basically anybody can get their pilot's license. There are some requirements. There's a lot of training involved. For a little disclaimer, I am not a CFI, so this is an uninstructed podcast. But what we are actually doing, he has told me before we actually started, and that that he does have some learning disabilities. We're not going to go into it as much. Everyone has their disabilities, or whatever you want to call it, in learning, and how you can at least accomplish and succeed some things. So I have some things that makes me struggle a little bit, and I'm not going to go into much details about it as well. But I look at this as if I can help him and where he stands, and he can help me and where I stand. Two people that actually have some things that can be a little bit difficult. You work it together, you talk about it, you overcome it, and actually still be able to figure out the right answer. I might be cheating. I'm really not, but if I have the right answers, it will help build the memory. Coming from someone who has no experience, they will be able to learn. Now, if we actually had a CFI here, that would actually be a different scenario. I would actually plop him right in the center. We would be off to the side. He can at least answer excess questions, and we can at least be able to figure out. More podcasts that we do, I'll actually bring more material that you will actually need for your PPL, for training. I could go in more depth and at least kind of help you guys get a little bit more materials and where I actually stand. I am actually a student pilot. I actually have my student pilot certificate, or they call it certificate, you can call it license, either or, same thing. I got a total of 8 flight hours underneath my belt right now currently. On and off, there is a financial reasoning behind it. I'm not going to go into much details, but we can keep on going more. We'll actually go a little more in details in future podcasts. We're probably we're gonna actually probably talk about schedule and everything with the viewers and when we're actually gonna do it. So whoever's actually watching, on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, or even if you're watching from your mother's ass, I don't care how you're doing that as well. But cheers to that. Hey, my stream. I'm trying to keep it good, but this is actually a can of beer, not a can of soda. But you know what? I had a long day. I'm not going in that as well. So, gonna have a little drink to that. And, well, like I said, there's gonna be a future podcast coming on, and we'll go in more details. Right now, we briefly discussed before we started the stream that what we're gonna do about we'll start once a week for now and probably increase it two to three times a week or something like that.
Yeah, that should be good.
So how about let's start diving right into some test questions. What do you think?
Let's go.
There's no either right or wrong answer. I do have the right answers, which you can kind of see some of the ones in the back.
I'm not gonna cheat.
But you know what? Let me since you can actually grab me that not the that notepad. Give me that notepad. And I'm actually gonna
Hide the question answers.
But I'm also looking for a little bit of this is. Ooh, excuse me. Looking to have a little bit more of a entertainment side of things, but also to kind of raise a little bit of that there is a pilot shortage. Believe it or not, there has always been. There has been an increase of pilots, but I just kind of hope everybody finds this useful. So, as you know, you can turn and face me. You don't have to stare at the camera the whole time, but periodically look.
Yeah.
Turn your whole body. Get a little more comfortable, like me. There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
So basically, as you know, I do have the right answers, and they are highlighted. I want you to pick the best answer as possible. If you want to question it, I can give you my best opinion.
Okay.
So, the test questions quiz that we're actually going to be doing is a 24 pre-copy, which is from, I can't remember who I actually got this actually from when I was actually in ground school, when I was actually doing online ground school. But I got 24 questions from what they actually picked and what was actually taught in Airspace. So that's what we're going to go over. We're going to go over Airspace and what I learned in that class as well. I am actually going to be going back into ground school, and if you want to both do ground school together, I follow Check Ride Prep. I'm actually going to give them a little shout out right now. Check Ride Prep, David and the crew, you guys, I honestly cannot complain about you guys at all. You guys are actually really the best. I've learned more than I have actually ever learned. I am definitely looking to get back in, as I've had some ups and downs. Some financial things have actually been going on. They've actually been very helpful through the pandemic in offering free online ground school. And how I also found out about them was myself as a CAT member. Hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Mike,
Speaking of Cap, we actually have another Cap.
We have another Cap member right here
actually
behind us.
Right here.
Mike, come over here.
Hey, Lieutenant, come over here.
Lieutenant, come over here.
I know we're all kind of bumming it, but eventually we're going to actually start looking a little bit better, a little decent.
Stand up.
Stand up. There's no chair, but stand up. This is First Lieutenant Mike Lapine from Civil Air Patrol, if you want, because you kind of got a little busted trying to stay out of the stream a bit for crawling. So, why don't you introduce yourself to the stream?
Just
We're live.
we're live. Just talk.
We're live.
I was just watching.
Explain. There's like introduce yourself. Like what?
Alright, I'm First Lieutenant Mike Lapine from Civil Air Patrol. Current duties in the squadron are personnel, communications, logistics. Also, assisting with groups logistics.
The camera's there.
I know.
Look,
I can see.
the camera.
Look at the camera.
Trying to help
I'm
you.
tired.
I know. I'm tired too, and we're just going.
We're just going.
Yeah, just got a lot of duty positions in Civil Air Patrol.
Now, what I'm going to ask you is what squadron are you with, and where are you based out of?
I'm with Squadron 328, and we meet at MacArthur Airport.
It's actually not
Behind the airport.
It's not Squadron 328. It's Squadron 10.
Yeah, Squadron 10, but yes, this is actually his residence, believe it or not. But
Yes.
not gonna get into a whole lot of detail. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Yep.
Thank you for at least introducing yourself. Don't mind him if he actually does pop up in the background of that. If you do,
Yeah.
smile and wave.
Smile and wave.
Just introduce yourself and that to the stream. Thank you
On
for
that
coming.
note, I'm gonna
All right.
head out for a minute and then head right to bed.
All right.
You have a good night.
You have a good night.
Thank you for coming up part of the stream. So, sorry for the little interruption, but I guess let's get right back
Without
to
further
it.
ado, let's get back to what we were doing.
Yeah. Should I give you a hard one or should I just give
That's
you
up
an
to
easy
you.
one? How about this? Grab the blue binder. I'm gonna make this a little bit easier for yourself, so this way, if you're reading when I read you the questions, you can at least look at the sectional charts. So, I do have some sectional charts in here, which, by the way, this book that you can buy has all this in it. I just turned around and I printed the whole thing out and put it into a binder, and I actually made it easier for myself. And believe it or not, when I do take the practice test, I take the page out what I need, and it just makes it a whole lot easier because you either want to get close to your screen at least, or get a little bit closer if something's a little bit difficult for you to actually see and read on a map. So it's the sectional charts are kind of a little bit over here. They're more the figures. You're just gonna have to really find them. So,
Okay.
I guess what is this? This is the sectional chart of Dallas Fort Worth. Pull this section out. They're all in order, so it's not a big deal. We can go back. But we're going to use that because there's another sectional chart on the other
Back
side.
of it. Yep.
Let me see in here. This will also be good. I probably should have pulled it out beforehand. the New York sectional chart. I should probably pull that, which might be a little bit easier to read as well. But how about this? Here's an easy one. In which type of airspace are VFR flights prohibited? Class A, Class B, or Class C?
Oh, wait, what's the question?
Oh, well, now that your voice is heard.
Yo, Casey, come on.
Alright. That's my lovely girlfriend back there. She just got out of the shower, but she's gonna be popping on the frame, so don't mind the anyone in the background. But she could be a little entertainment in that. Eventually, I'm looking to try to get a green screen, if anything, but I'm working what I have for right now.
Okay, repeat the question, please.
Thanks for the distraction, babe, but I love you.
I mean, I heard a question and I wanted to help.
Oh, well, if you want to help answer the question, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
I'm not turning around.
You should just be the voice in the background.
What was it? Class.
In which type of airspace are VFR flights prohibited? Class A, Class B, or Class C? It's actually not going to be on there at all. I know this is an easy question.
Well, I'm gonna say
If you want me to explain, you can ask which one you want me to explain to at least help narrow your choice, or you could take a good guess now, or whatever.
I'm gonna say Class B airspace.
Class B. Okay. Why do you think Class B is your answer?
It was just a guess. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Now, the reason why
Can
I
take a
kind
guess?
of, if you would like to, yes,
Is it Class A?
that answer is actually correct. Now, Class B, if you look on the sectional chart, which,
It's gonna get real bright when you turn that light on.
no, I'm actually not going to do that one. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change that. Is that a little bit better now?
Yes.
Because I know you do have glasses, and I know some colors can be a little bit hard to read, especially with a sectional chart. You do not want to have multicolored lights actually changing.
No.
But if I turn the light on above me, it's gonna be too bright. I don't really want to be actually doing that. So if you would actually pick on this sectional chart, or on the Dallas-Fort Worth sectional chart, on this little area of the sectional, can you at least, including here's Dallas-Fort Worth,
Okay.
can you actually find an airport, and how is it distinctive on the map for a Class B airspace?
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to find it.
Now, sectional charts, while he's looking at it, sectional charts actually will be a little difficult and a little hard to read, and I would strongly suggest to, if you're getting a PPL, you want to get and go through the online ground school. There's plenty out there. You could do a live one, or you can at least do one where you do at your own pace. Sporties is one. Rob Machado is another one. King is another one. Sporties.
Is that another airport off to the side?
Yes, that is, but that is not a Class Bravo. I can tell you. Now, do you see all these blue lines right here
Yes.
with Dallas Fort Worth in the
Middle?
middle?
Yes.
That is a Class Bravo airspace.
So you wanted me to find one that was outside the Class B?
No. So the question is to actually really explain this question for these answers is which type of airspace are VFR flights prohibited? Class A, B, or C? The answer is Class A, as Casey has stated, and that's because Class A airspace is from 18,000, flight level 18,000 and up.
Okay.
In that airspace, you have to be IFR rated.
Okay, I misunderstood the question. That's why I said what I said.
But if you want to change that question, which type of airspace is VFR flights allowed?
I would say B and C because
That is correct. Now, if you know Dallas Fort Worth, which is an international airport,
yeah.
is a Class Bravo airspace, what are the airspaces in the local area? So now we are located in Long Island, New York, and if you want to explain some of the airports and the airspaces that are here,
You're shitty.
hey,
Sorry.
Well, we have Long Island MacArthur is one.
what class airspace is that?
That's Class Charlie.
Okay.
That's what the pilot told me. One of the pilots told
Yes. A magenta circle line on a sectional chart to spits which class airspace?
me. Well, a magenta airspace would be a Class C airspace.
That's correct. That's why I brought it up, because I just took one of the questions here and just changed it. So, if Class C is, if Long Island MacArthur Airport is a Class C airspace, what is JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia? Well, how about JFK and Newark? That's a good example. What
Are
class?
they Class A?
No,
Class B, right?
that is correct.
They are?
If
Oh, any international airports are Class B pretty much.
for the most part, yes.
Well, then
If you really look at the full map for aviation, it's just so much to dissect. That's why when you're going on flights, when you're flying from here, so say here's an example flight, which this isn't going to be an example flight. This is actually one of the flights that I'm actually planning on doing. I'm actually going to be flying from one of my local airports here and actually be flying to Georgetown, Delaware. And that has already been approved by my CFI. And honestly, I wish my CFI, which by the way is Captain Edward Jimenez, he's also in the Civil Air Patrol as well. And I wish if he was actually watching this right now, I want to know how much credit he would actually give me.
I wonder if he is watching. That'd be pretty cool if he is.
Because me at least changing some questions and at least kind of helping you out a bit and at least explaining. Like I did state, and I will state again, I am not as, here's my disclaimer again, which I probably should put this on one of the buttons here.
Probably.
As in just press it and put it in the chat there. My disclaimer is I am not a CFI. I'm a student pilot helping another student pilot. If you are going for your PPL and you're actually starting the process and actually starting to learn and
That's
practice for the FAA written exam, you're a student pilot right off the bat.
the reason why I want to do that. I've been talking to my mom about it. She was a little hesitant with the prices, but I told my mom that it's something that I want to do. I've come so far in CAP, and I didn't mention this, but I'm also part of the fire department, but that's another stream.
Yeah, but he's as you mentioned, he's in the fire department. I got 6 years in the fire service. I've had some medical injuries that has put me out since 2016. I'm actually going to be getting back in that, which I have the application somewhere, which you and I want to actually physically sit down and do that with you.
Not a problem.
So I haven't been putting that off. We'll have the conversation after the stream and that. But
And as I was also stating is that I've been up in the air with getting my PPL for about 2 years now. I didn't really get enough information because I really didn't have any pilots at CAP to talk to. But this other CAP member who is now our CAP transport pilot, he was the one that spoke to me and gave me more information. So that's why I spoke to my mom about it, and she's okay with me trying to go for it.
What is he? First lieutenant, second lieutenant?
He's senior flight officer
No.
because he just came off being cadet.
Oh yes, that's right. He doesn't.
He's not 21 yet.
Yes. So with senior flight officer, how do you say it?
Just Alex. I don't know how to say his last name.
A lot of people got some last names we can't all pronounce, but first name's Alex. I gotta say, I really do appreciate for everything that you're doing, helping out the squadron, getting more pilots, which can also help have more training missions, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. More training missions.
More training missions.
And a lot more cadet ORI first flights.
Which O flights are orientation flights in that, and which we get CAP emails as well. And what we see in those emails, we get newsletter heads in that, and there are cadets actually earning their wings, and not just for the Civil Air Patrol, but they're actually getting their PPL license through CAP.
Just like Senior Flight Officer Alex, he has his commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And CAP helped him go through that.
And you probably don't know much, and I probably don't know much, but he actually did get it through CAP, right?
Yes.
I mean, if not, I mean, it would be nice, but everyone has a schedule. We can't always accommodate everyone's schedule and who we're talking about and that, and at least bring them on. But at least we can give him a good shout out on the stream, though.
Which hopefully he's watching. We don't know. Hopefully.
We don't know. If not, it's like, yo, go check out this stream.
Yep.
So let's get back to it. So Class A is from flight level 18,000 and up. Class Bravo airspace is from the ground, and the airspace does vary with the airports as well. Up to can't remember off the top of my head. Like I said, guys, I'm sorry. It's been a while. I've had surgery this past year, and this is me helping me for what I retained and what I've learned to help another student pilot out and trying to get as much as the right information and start getting his feet wet. Because I'm actually looking to get my FAA written exam out of the way at least by October.
And I'll try and get in there with you.
And that's why we're looking at trying to do this together and at least help each other out.
Yeah.
Eventually, if I can get everything on paper, how about we can at least full-blown take my laptop
Mm-hmm.
and actually set it up here on the stream, and we physically full blown go through an actual online practice exam and actually figure it out.
Yep.
And
That would be cool.
I mean, that's why slowly I want to get more involved and kind of get you up to speed where I am, including with my flight hours. Class Bravo is also from the ground, so the bigger the airspace, bigger the airport, and that the airspace expands out. And Class Bravo can actually, if we can, for Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, for an example, their Class Bravo airspace can go up to 30 nautical miles away from the airport. And how about this?
Should we convert that so people know what that is?
30 nautical miles. Can't. If I had more calculations, I was actually able to do in miles. For conversions, plug it into Google. It's honestly the best thing that you should do. You can do nautical miles into miles, and you can figure out how far 30 nautical miles is equivalent to how many miles. Here's actually a good question. I don't think it's going to be on here, but I'm actually going to ask you a good question based off this sectional chart.
Okay.
And to enter a Class Bravo airspace.
Okay. It's gonna be a little tough. Let me see if I can figure it out.
So, as you already know, this is we're talking about Dallas Fort Worth. None of the other airports. You know the blue magenta line is the Class Bravo airspace. Okay? Well, it's actually blue segmented circle is the Class Bravo airspace.
Okay.
There's the magenta circle also around that as well. What type of transponder is required to enter, and if you can explain further into details of the requirements to enter a Class Bravo airspace?
From a Class C airspace?
Class Bravo into a Class Bravo. So while he's looking that up, if you're leaving from your local airport or any airport that's a Class Delta, Class Bravo, Class Echo, or Golf, or uncontrolled, basically your Echo and Golf and all that is more of an uncontrolled airspace. Oh wow, I just drew a blank. With that being an uncontrolled airspace, and you're visiting people that lives near an international airport, and for Dallas Fort Worth International, that's a complex airspace, and has multiple airfields within that airspace, and you're not flying into the international airport, but to one of those. Going back to the question, what type of transponder do you need to enter that airspace? And what type of clearance do you need? So I just kind of broke it down a little bit more for you.
Of course, you're gonna need tower clearance.
Yes. If you need tower clearance, how far away do you need to be before you actually enter that airspace? Because now if you requested a VFR flight, now here's a scenario. If you requested a VFR flight and you requested your altitude at 9,500 feet. And you're not hitting that very first outer layer. But eventually, one of these other shelves that are in here is actually in your altitude, and your airport's on the east side that you're landing on. What type of transponder are you actually going to need?
That's my problem. I don't know the difference between transponders.
You'll actually need. It's okay. You actually answered a good, valid question. You actually need a Mode C transponder, and you have to get ATC clearance if you're just doing a VFR flight to gain access into Class Bravo airspace.
So Mode C transponder,
And
okay.
if you request...
Oh, it's right there. I just saw it.
I asked you a really good question, and the answer was right on it.
I looked at the wrong spot.
It's okay. Now, as you can see, like I stated, the sectional chart can be a little confusing depending on what airspace and where you're flying into, right?
Yes. But a lot of the pilots now have the iPads with the charts on them.
So, yes, you are able to use an iPad or a tablet for your PPL training, but they rather have you get used to doing it the old way and all by paper. As electronics are becoming more popular, the industry of where everything's going, there's not much that you can actually control.
No.
And they're actually just adopting it in, believe it or not.
Really?
And there are a lot of good videos out there what you can and can't use, and for people who actually went through their FAA exam, their check ride, who went through the oral, they'll actually tell you, and they're only telling you on their opinions and what they can recommend, and they're only doing it to also help you guys as well, and you guys as well, meaning the viewers.
Yeah, the viewers.
I mean, kind of really can't go more into it, but YouTube's also another good thing to do.
Yeah, you find everything on YouTube. That's the sad thing.
So, probably we might go. This stream is actually going to end probably sometime soon. I think we're probably going to go until maybe like 11:15. And that. I'm in trouble.
Yup.
But
let's stop it at 11 and then we'll pick up because she wants to.
yeah. Probably like around within the next 10 minutes. Then we're gonna end the stream. I know we're not going over much, but there's a lot, and to at least explain a little bit more about things, just to understand. So it's like, hey, I go back to this question again. I answer you a couple questions from the other side, and I go back, and I'm like, oh, I know he had a problem with this one. I want to know if you actually retained it or not. So. How about this one? A blue sigmatted circle on a sectional chart despite which class airspace?
That would be Class Bravo.
No.
No.
Now, I'm going to use our area as a good example. What is Republic Airport? What airspace is that? It relies just outside the Class Bravo airspace.
So What was that?
We're telling us.
It just relies on the outside of the Class Bravo.
The airport relies just outside of the Class Bravo, and they consider.
Pick me, pick me.
Hold,
Pick me.
hold on.
That'd be a Class C out there. No, Class A.
It's Class Delta.
That's a Class Delta?
There's no such thing as a Class Alpha airport. Airspace airport.
Really?
There's Class Alpha. Class A is from 18 and above.
Oh, so what are now? We're gonna go. It's still on this topic. What's the different colors? What are the actual airspaces?
We can at least put that to another stream. Honestly, we can spend a whole week on airspace.
Yeah.
And that, because you're, like I said, you're helping me. You're actually helping me by bringing my memory back in that and what I learned. And I have a lot of stuff that I can bring up. I actually have an extra book. For you to at least look over as well.
You do?
That you can read, yes.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. She ain't kidding. But
Lost in the abyss.
in the appendix, the legends and all that,
Yes.
you can also find some of the information in here as well.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to keep it like a closed book on you, but you can have it open.
Okay.
Because I wanted you to be able to at least find it so you can see it, you can recognize it, and you can remember it. A blue sigmated circle on a sectional chart is a Class Delta airspace.
See if I can find one. Do you have it in here?
There's a bunch of pages to go through, and all the sectional charts are not in order. They're in figure order.
Ow.
Yes.
So
that is weather. This is basically the weather section. Actually, it does stay pretty much together. Other things don't. But I can at least bring up. This is gonna get used a lot.
which is the airplane takeoff distance graph.
Yes, this is going to be used a lot on the FAA. There's probably about a good handful of questions about just this chart and other charts, which I can bring that up, and we'll actually bring that up later on throughout the month.
Okay. But how do they distinguish it that's a Delta airspace?
I'd have to pull up the sectional chart.
Okay.
Unless if you wanna,
I don't know.
it's in the the map.
Where is it?
Hold on one moment, guys. I'm just gonna take a little quick break. Alright. We are actually coming back. Sorry about that little short break. But we actually just went out and we just stepped away a bit and we actually got the maps that I was talking about. I will show you guys the size of these maps.
Huge, like my dick.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
You know it's being monitored by people besides us.
Yeah, I don't care.
We are live.
Yeah, I know. Nobody heard.
Yes.
Yes.
You know I got the sensitivity.
Way high.
Actually, a little too much.
A little
but,
too much. It's really going high.
That's a headset.
Mike didn't hear. So, nobody else heard.
The 50 million people that are probably watching us, but it's not showing us.
Alright, but it's not like I, drew a penis.
Okay.
This is why I'm all seen.
We're trying to finish.
Come on.
You know, intermissions is gonna.
I was trying to do this really good. I don't mind the little distractions, but
That was bad.
Hey, you did say that I was entertaining, so.
Don't die, Jude.
God. But no, eventually we're gonna have some a little bit set rules when we're actually doing stuff like this, especially when it comes down to when we're trying to help each other for their FAA written. So as you can see, that's. Ooh, excuse me. I got the hiccups. Here's Republic.
Okay.
Now you see?
Yes.
That's Class Delta.
Okay.
Now you can see a Class
That's the
Charlie.
Charlie. Okay. That's
Bravo.
Bravo.
And now JFK doesn't go out that far,
No.
but look how far you need to
B to get in.
look where it's almost right on top of.
It's on top of Republic, pretty much.
Huh? No, that is Iceland.
That's Islip. Oh yeah. Oh, it's right on top of Islip.
Not really. It's probably about. I can actually look at, and if you know your area really well. Connecticut State Park is when you have to actually call.
Connecticut State Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cause yep.
So, guys, like I said, disclaimer again, I'm not a CFI, but he's not familiar in seeing any of this or used to, or at least reading a lot of this. I've got a lot of experience and actually seen and knowledge of be able to read this stuff. It took me a while, just like him, knowing nothing at all and going through ground school a couple times. I didn't do so great in the beginning for the first couple ground schools, and eventually I started learning a little bit more from the previous and actually taking flight lessons at the same time, and that's why I'm pretty decent right now at the moment. I mean, my last flight before I went into surgery, I was in Florida. I went up for 2 hours, 6 takeoffs, 6 landings. I did. I also had a go around. We can actually go in a little bit more details later. I can kind of bring some more things about my flight history of planes I've actually flying and where I have flown, what I've actually have done. We can bring that up in a future podcast.
Well, let me just state one thing. When I got my first set of pilot wings, when I finished my mission scanner through CAP, that was like 2. Yeah.
I can actually say that actually doesn't really, from what, if you're doing your PPL on your own,
Well,
and
that's
not
not
through CAP. It's two separate things. So that's. I'm not trying to stop you, but I will let you finish. I probably might say that just might be a little confusing and information almost. A little
It's
bit
based
for
on the
viewers.
chart. That was the last time I.
But no, if you want, yeah, you can continue.
That was like 2 years ago when I knew the charts were a little bit different now. Now they're a little bit different.
Now, there's one map I want to at least show the viewers. I want to take that map out of the comms room and at least show the viewers. Because, and at least, we not fully talk about the previous mission that we had, but at least say, hey, if you know what you're doing and if you can use other things and you know how to read a map, take a map that you know that you can see if it's outdated or not. But if you can't, what if ATC says that, hey, I lost communication of this plane, he might be down somewhere in this area, and now you're out of range of ATC and you can't get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you know what you have to do. So we can at least bring in that scenario up as well, and kind of what we did on the ground and try to figure out where our plane was.
Yeah.
So we can do something like that throughout the month.
Okay, that's like I said. This is a whole entire thing for the whole.
Our commander wouldn't mind if we stole a map for a week.
Or just take a picture and leave it in the comms room.
No, a picture's not even going to be able to describe on how big this map is. You have to physically see how big it is.
It's a big map.
And to compare to what you actually will be using. But you want to continue, or you want to go on, or you want to kind of end it here?
It's up to you.
I know we didn't go over much questions. How about oh, this is actually going to be a question that every pilot needs to know, especially if you're a GA and you're a VFR pilot. Pilots flying over national wildlife refuges are requested to fly no lower than what altitude AGL?
Above ground level.
1,000 feet AGL, 2,000 feet AGL, or 3,000 feet AGL.
No lower.
No lower.
Wait, what was the question?
And I have no problem repeating again. Pilots flying over National Wildlife Refuge are requested to fly no lower than 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, or 3,000 feet AGL. Don't have to answer right away, just think about it.
Is it no lower than 3,000?
Okay, so you're going to say 3,000.
I'm gonna say no lower than I'm gonna say probably wrong, but I'm gonna say 1,000.
Both actually wrong.
Oh,
It's actually 2,000.
really?
So it's actually 2,000 feet, yes.
That was a question we never went over.
We did?
No.
Oh. I mean,
I think we made it only up to the
Then-
second page when I helped you. And
yeah,
that
then
was
again,
about
we
it,
didn't
'cause then
go
I was
over
going-
as
I was
much.
scattering all over.
Let's go back to the airspace. Well, let me just fire a couple little bit more questions
Okay.
out at you, and probably maybe about 5 more.
Okay.
And we're just gonna end the stream. 'Cause it is getting late. It's actually, we're in Eastern Standard Time, and it's currently 11:04. So how about this one? all operations within a Class C airspace must be in accordance of Instrument Flight Rules, IFR, which Instrument Flight Rules for short is IFR, and that's what IFR means in long term as well. B, compliance with ATC clearance and instructions. Or C, an aircraft equipment with a 4096 code transponder with Mode C encoding capabilities. Now, let's use our local airport, Islip, as an example. You know what airspace is that?
Islip is a Charlie airspace.
Okay. Now we did go over Class Bravo. At least a good enough information that you could understand right now at the moment. I'm trying to keep similar questions so you can fully understand things a little bit more. What it basically it's basically what piece of equipment do you need in an aircraft for all operations within a Class C airspace must be in, and it also is with Class B as well.
Is that the ATBS?
You're trying to say ADSB?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's actually
Wait, but what's the question? Repeat the question.
all operations within Class Charlie airspace must be in coordinates A, accordance with IFR, B, compliance with ATC clearance and instructions, C, an aircraft equipped with a 4096 code transponder with Mode C encoding capabilities.
It's between B or C.
It's something that you need regardless for Class Bravo or Charlie airspace.
It's between B and C.
So that special, that transponder code is one of them. The 4 digits transponder code.
So, yes. So you're going with C, correct?
Yes.
So, all operations in Class Charlie airspace must be in Class C, an aircraft equipped with a 4096 code transponder with Mode C encoding capabilities. Here's another one. Pick up that one and flip that around. What action should a pilot take when operating under VFR in a military operations area? Now, before you answer that question, do you know what military operations area
Yes, I know.
means?
It's where they do
and
training.
Okay. What is it? How do you abbreviate that? What is it called? Abbreviated. Because ATC will actually say, hey, it's hot.
It's hot? Is that what you said?
They might say that, hey, this area is hot, but how would you abbreviate military operations area.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it won't be MOA.
MOA.
Oh, it is. Okay.
MOA. The ATC could possibly say, when you're asking and you're flying in it, hey, the MOA is hot, they would either probably might tell you to change course or use caution. But if I'm not mistaken, I think you need to have clearance to be able to at least go in there.
Clearance through the base or through ATC?
I cannot fully answer that, but when we go through the software that I have that has all the updated test questions, that's what we can at least do, and then you'll be able to wind up getting that answer. And I think I am reciting one of those test questions, if I'm not mistaken. Because that is a trick question, and I sometimes do have a hard time remembering the correct answer or answering it correctly. So what action should a pilot take when operating under VFR in a military operations area MOA? Obtain clearance from the controlling agency prior to entering the MOA. B. Operating only on the airspace that traverse the MOA. Or C. Exercising extreme caution when military action is being conducted.
You gave me a look for the answer B, but I'm gonna go with C.
Wasn't it A?
C is the correct answer.
So I was right.
Oh. This YouTube's another good source. You can find a lot of aircraft emergencies, mid-air collisions, or collisions on the ground. You can find out, and if you actually really listen to the videos and watch the videos as well and pay attention, you would be able to figure out who was at fault the most. And is it pilot error or was it ATC's error, depending on what you're looking at. So this question is responsibility for all collision avoidance in an alert area rest with A, the controlling agency, B, all pilots, or C, ATC.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm gonna say C, but I don't know if it's right.
It's actually B, all pilots.
Oh, so it's pilot error. I should have known that.
That's why I talked about it before I asked the question, see if you're able to actually really pick it up.
So pilot error.
Like I said, it could either be ATC or it could be pilot error.
But most of the time,
I watch a lot of videos from YouTube. Vast Aviation is one of them. And watching those aircraft emergencies, like just recently the Honolulu flight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually going to rule that was pilot error.
That's what I'm going to say, too.
And how I ruled it was pilot error. It was within 5 minutes after takeoff that the pilots should have went back and landed or automatically started planning, but I strongly believe that they took too long to diagnose the issue when they had everything and trying to keep the plane in the air That's why I think it was pilot error, because they wound up ditching it in the Pacific when they could have turned
Glided in.
around and landed back at Honolulu when they couldn't maintain or go above 2,000 feet. They could have either went back and made the turn, or on that flight path that they were going when they were calling the emergency and the turn that they were doing, they could have glided that right into the airport that wasn't that far away, which I'm not too familiar with Hawaii as much and Honolulu's airspace, but there is another airport that was just, I guess you could say, northwest of Honolulu.
Well, that's a
no
question we
realize
can
on.
ask Major Fowl, because he's flown in Honolulu.
Yes, but if anything, we could probably bring that up with that video, like, hey, would you would have been able to do something different?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But we also discussed with that incident that they didn't request for alternate airport.
We're gonna make this the last question, and we're gonna end the stream. And that. But here's the last and final question for now. We will actually go over these questions again. I guess we'll probably talk over the weekend and actually really start scheduling things a little bit more.
Yep.
And we'll actually go over the whole thing, but I definitely want to go over with the software.
Yep.
And that's where I want to rely on the most, because I think that's where you're gonna find the questions, the popular questions that are gonna be on the test the
Yep.
most. What was the question I was gonna ask?
I asked the question.
Oh,
She asked
okay.
you a question.
No, but can I ask the question? Can I read one of the questions and ask it?
For the both of us?
Yeah.
We'll make that the final one. Let me ask him this one, because I was trying to stay with Class Bravo and Class Charlie Airspace with you. Because to me, I figured that was one thing I wanted
I'm more
to
familiar
learn,
with that.
and where you can be familiar with and actually understand. Especially, we got JFK, Newark, in New Jersey.
We got Teterboro and we also got LaGuardia.
Teterboro and LaGuardia, that makes up the major airports for the New York metro area.
Bless you.
Teterboro, not as much. Teterboro is designated as you can't make it back to your airport.
That's an emergency area.
Teterboro is the emergency airport, and
Jesus.
Miracle on the Hudson.
Yes.
Anybody that's actually still watching the stream, watch that video and you can actually see why we're talking about Teterboro is like considered as a emergency airport, only because they took off of LaGuardia, and from what I was actually able to see, United wanted them to land at Teterboro if they could not make it back to their departing airport. Well, they weren't able to land there at all, period. The only option that they had was multiple engine failure. 2 engines failed. They were a fully loaded glider, basically, and with passengers, fuel, and the passengers' luggages. They had no choice but to land in the Hudson. A lot of people should have already seen that video by now, but I would still watch that video again and again.
Again and again.
Because...
And this pilot, he got rewarded for that too.
when they tried to get hanging him for his job and everything, but he did violate company policies and procedures and regulations a bit, but everyone went home alive, and the passengers are considering him as a hero, and that plane today is in a museum.
Really? I guess they were able to salvage it.
Yes, they were, because it stayed intact.
Yes.
It stayed intact, and then one of the piers actually had the video of it touching the water. I forget which pier that was. So, which initial action should a pilot take prior to entering Class Charlie airspace? A. Contact approach control on the appropriate frequency. B. Contact tower and request permission to enter. C. Contact FSS for traffic advisories.
Read the question again.
I'm gonna say it's between B and C, but I'm leaning towards B.
No, read the question again.
What, you really want to answer?
Yes.
Then you're gonna have to sit right up here,
No,
and
no,
we're gonna
no,
get
sit
the
there.
FAA written together.
Alright. As long as you're not streaming.
Oh, no. Oh no, we were streaming.
Alright, so read the question again.
You know what I should do? I should just put a camera hidden somewhere wherever she's gonna hit, so where she's always on camera.
You're a good slap later, dude.
I'll just slap in some places later, but we're not getting into it.
Oh, come on.
And you yelled at me!
It's coming to the end, so.
I didn't go into details, and I kept the G rated.
Is my answer correct or no?
Read the
No.
question again!
Which initial action should a pilot take prior to entering a Class C airspace? Contact approach control on the appropriate frequency. Contact the tower and request permission to enter. Contact the FSS for traffic advisories.
Let's see.
It's A.
It's A.
Damn
Oh, yeah, the approach, they have to get.
What is Class Charlie airspace? Towered or non-towered?
it. Towered. No, non-towered.
Non-towered. Or is it towered?
It's towered.
Oh,
What?
damn it.
You're looking at it. What's iSlip?
Oh, duh.
Well, that's why I'm having the map out in front of you. It's not cheating. It's actually helping you.
Yeah.
So when I'm asking make up questions and that, but making questions up right off of the map, it's just trying to help you.
Yeah. Oops.
Because it's just trying to help you to understand reading a sectional.
Okay. Understood. And now she wants to ask her question so we can end the stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Give me the packets thing. So. Were you going in order or just scattering?
No, just random.
You want to fold this?
So,
Do you remember what questions you asked? What numbers you asked?
no.
Oh, the stream's almost over.
I mean, I really don't send an ending time stream. Whenever I decide to end, I end.
But once we get really fully into this, usually what I've seen is like a 4-hour streams usually.
To really go over everything and to really like how we're kind of having some side talk.
I have to get up. My back is killing me.
Hey, if you want to stand, you can stand.
I just want to get out of the camera for now.
Hey, get your butt back in this camera.
When a control tower located on an airport within Class D airspace ceases operation for the day, what happens to the airspace designation? A. The airspace designation normally will not change. B. The airspace remains Class D airspace as long as a weather observer or automated
Automated.
weather system is
Automated.
available. Or C, the airspace reverts to Class E, or a combination of Class E and G airspace during the hours the tower is not in operation?
So this is actually a very good question, and I know I have the sensitivity down a little bit, but I'm actually gonna turn that up just a bit. Do you want to discuss about it at all, or do you want her to read the question again?
I'm gonna say C. That's all I'm gonna say.
You want to reread the question again? This is something that you will need to know and does happen.
Well, do you know it?
Yeah, I know the answer.
We'll see, because the last time I tested it, you didn't do very good, so.
Good after this, you can go get me a piece of
Nah.
pie.
When a control tower
I'm gonna put a little
located
honey
on
on
an
it, too.
airport within Class D airspace ceases operation for the day, what happens to the airspace designation? A. The airspace designation normally will not change. B. The airspace remains Class D airspace as long as a weather observer or automated weather system is available. Or C, the airspace reverts to Class E or a combination of Class E and G airspace during the hours the tower is not in operation.
So it's the last answer. C.
You want to C?
Yeah.
Correct answer is C.
Yes, it is.
Now I remember, because when we're listening to it, when they shut the tower down at our airport, it goes to whatever.
Yeah, I think it's after the islip gets shut down
11 o'clock, I think.
11 o'clock or until the last commercial flight comes in, because there are times it is delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And working at the airport, ATC was still there giving American Airlines, well, it was U.S. Airways Express with their Dash 8s at the time, still giving them clearance at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There's only 24 questions. I thought there were more.
That's just the airspace one.
That's the short airspace that is coming from check ride prep.
Where does it go back in here?
You just stick it in here. I'll worry about it later. So, guys, everyone, if you gotta do it on the bed, do it on the bed. I mean, it's not much of a big deal. I can worry about it later. So, yeah, I'll handle it. I'm gonna at least try to get you out of here, so we want to close out the stream. I'm gonna stand.
You have to yell at everyone. I'm still here.
I stuck to the chair.
Oh, so now you know how I feel.
I'm gonna stand. So, everyone, for those who are actually watching or actually come across the channel and actually watch this stream, I would at least like to say thank you so much for at least being patient with us. We are going to be working out the bugs, and if I can get a good team going to at least help with the stream, which I'm really hoping, if you want to learn a little bit more about how to do all this and gaming computers and everything, and see how it all works and how everybody really uses their computer to the fullest and does the stream, I can teach you as much as I can and how to diagnose. As clearly I just threw a new scene on right before we even started. Literally just for this, because I wasn't trying to mess any other scene up.
But we still were a little delayed on it, but
Well, delaying with the starting, it didn't really care as much. I mean, I had a long day. You kind of had a long day in that. But guys, thank you so much for coming out and at least watching the stream.
we are going to go a little bit more. There's so much information that we can say and we can talk about. This was a short one. Probably on for about like an hour. If anything.
It says.
Honestly, I really don't know, and I can't even see what the time is. But looks like we're going on about for like an hour and a half now. Thank you guys for coming out. I don't know how much more I can thank you guys, but stay tuned. There's gonna be more streams coming, and I just honestly can't thank you as much for at least coming and being a part of the stream, and actually taking the initiative and helping me out, and at least return the favor and helping you out and kind of get you up to speed where I am, and but let's get this written out of the way because
Done, yeah. Then we can continue on with the other stuff we have to go through.
my CFI actually did tell me, get the written out of the way, and that can actually really determine the rest of your flight training. Because if you don't do good, he can be honest with you and say, hey, just end it here, it was worth a shot, go again, or whatever, or do better. They never want to let you down. They want to try to see you succeed. I'm looking at getting my PPL and at least landing into future jobs. There's low flying hour jobs that are out there that can really help you guys out and build hours and get where you need to go, because you need about 1,250 hours just to be able to ride with the airlines.
Yeah.
Some schools are actually offering that.
Really?
Where if you do get that, they will actually get you in. They'll help you get you into an airline.
It's a good thing to look forward to.
I know one thing was that I believe it used to be 1,500 hours you actually really need to be in. But somewhere around that range, you want to at least have those hours up so you can actually get in. So, once again, guys, thank you for coming out. More information to come. Once we get all this information out, we can actually start diving in and actually get into what we're doing the stream for.
Good night, New York. Cha. Sorry.
But thank you guys, and I want to see you guys come back out again and at least watch the stream. We are gonna actually be doing some gaming, and I like to at least maybe mix some of the podcasts and actually with the sim, and let's see if we can actually do that. So let's see what you're actually learning, even just doing test questions.
Yeah.
And see if you can apply that to a sim. And my sim can't get as close as possible to an actual aircraft or actually closer to a Redbird simulator.
Yeah.
And I can't complain about my simulator at all. I see my transition from that to actual flying is almost seamless.
Seamless show.
So, I mean, that's just really knowing your aircraft and flying different types of aircraft with different tail numbers and different models and different years, and you can actually build your own simulator.
Yep.
So, guys, thank you. The stream's about to come to an end, so y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys soon. Get on our Discord, and we'll put up the schedule there, or we'll make an announcement when the next stream is. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
You all have a good night. Stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you.